Hi, I'm Mike. I've had OCD and general anxiety disorder my whole adult life, and I turn that turmoil into tools and share them with you. Have you ever had thoughts that keep you from going about your day, that they're so negative or scary or pessimistic? You're not broken, you're human, okay? In the next few minutes, I'm gonna give you the questions that you need to be able to step back from these thoughts and move on with your life. And at the end, I'm gonna give you a bonus tip that can really help these thoughts to move in and out of your consciousness more freely. So the first question you wanna ask yourself is this thought I'm currently having helpful? So often we get caught up into this trap of thinking that there are good thoughts and bad thoughts. Now, there's definitely thoughts that are more positively inclined and ones that are more negatively inclined, but in reality, it's more of our perception of the thoughts that makes them good or bad. And so instead of getting caught up in whether these thoughts are good or whether these thoughts are bad, you get caught up in, is this thought I'm having right now helpful in some way? Question number 2 is this thought something I need to be thinking about now? Or is this thought something that I can think about later, right? Obviously, so often we get caught up in the anxieties in life and things that haven't happened yet, right? Or things that have happened in the past. And when we do that, it takes our mind obviously off the present moment. So if we can ask ourselves this question, is this something that needs to be thought about in this moment, right? Because it very well may need attention and this thought very well may be important, but it's not something you necessarily need to think about now. One of the things that really helped me was this particular saying is, we'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it, okay? So what that does is that tells the mind, hey, listen, we'll have a plan if and when it happens. So it doesn't ignore the thought, it doesn't push it away, it doesn't try to make it something that it's not. It says that when the time comes, when that bridge comes, we'll cross it if and when we get to it. Because often we don't get to the bridges we think we're going to be crossing, right? And if we do, we'll cross it when we get there. So it gives the thought the attention that it needs without giving it over attention. So it's not all consuming. And the third question is this thought helping me build a meaningful life that I want? Okay, because so often we can get these thoughts that we get caught up in these thoughts that make us think that we're not good people, that makes us think that we're pessimistic or that we don't have any faith or that we're angry and we are selfish, right? And the thought in and of itself might say that, however, it doesn't mean that's who we are. So you have to remind yourself, is this thought helping me build a meaningful life and true to who I am? And you know the answer to that question, right? I can't answer it for you. You know the answer to that question. And so you ask yourself this question, is it helping me build a meaningful life? It's either going to be yes or it's going to be no. And if the answer is no, you know you have to let that thought be there and move on with your day. Asking yourself these 3 questions, is this thought helpful? Do I need to be thinking about this now? And is this thought helping me build a meaningful life? Can help you to filter your thoughts a little bit better, right? Can help out your nervous system so the thoughts that are beneficial to you will get the attention that they need, and the thoughts that aren't can move a little bit freely through your mind. Now, as a bonus tip, one of the things that you want to practice is cognitive diffusion. And cognitive diffusion is basically being able to just do just that. You're diffusing yourself from your thoughts and you're seeing them as something separate from yourself. And one way you can practice that is by asking yourself those 3 questions, but also you want to insert the thought with a label in front of it by saying something like, I'm having the thought that blank, rather than just thinking the thought. So if you're thinking the thought that, let's say you're in college and you think you're gonna fail your exams, or you're not gonna get a job, or you're gonna fail at work, you can say, I'm having the thought that I'm going to fail at work. I'm having the thought that I'm going to fail my exam. I'm having the thought that this is going to go wrong. Simply adding that to the beginning of the thought can help you start the process of diffusing from it. So that way you don't see it as a part of yourself or even a part of your nervous system, if you will, but you see it as simply just a phenomenon that it is, which is just, again, just noise in your head that is coming and going. We're not our thoughts, or we're not our feelings, okay? We're not what we think about, and we're not what we feel. But what we are what we value and our actions that we take, okay? So when you're getting these thoughts and they're coming in and out, you have to remind yourself that we are not the thoughts and the feelings themselves, but rather the person who is thinking them and feeling them. We are behind that. There is another layer. And it's really important to differentiate between the two, okay? Because it's not about getting rid of these thoughts. It's about changing your relationship to the thoughts. Because, newsflash, they're gonna be there for the rest of your life. So if we can change our relationship to the thoughts rather than the thoughts themselves, we can make it much easier for us to coexist with them. Life doesn't always give us answers, right? But it does give us these moments and these opportunities that if we pay enough attention to, we can use them as lighthouses and tools to handle situations in the future more effectively. And that's what this channel is all about. To be able to use these tools and to remind you of these tools to be able to handle situations in your life that may be challenging more effectively, so you can just become a better person. Okay, if that sounds something that you're interested in, hit that subscribe button and do yourself a favor, okay? You are not your thoughts. Get on with your life, kid. You don't need to think about everything deeply. You don't need to have the answers to everything figured out right here and there, okay? You can have these thoughts and they can coexist with your life and you can still live and move on, all right? Take it easy, kid. I'll talk to you later. I don't get it, man. Before I hit the record button, forget about it. I'm as articulate as a Nobel Prize winner, okay? But then the second I hit the record button, I had the speech patterns of a 5-year-old trying to order his food at Applebee's. Man.